Thank you very much for the opening remark. Next, let's invite James Zhu, VP Engineering of Bytom, to give a keynote speech about the future of blockchain architecture, one mainchain with multi-sidechains. Welcome.
Yes, so good morning, everyone. So first, welcome to the second Bytom's Dev conference. So I'm James. So today I'm here to share about it's called Bystack, the next generation of blockchain infrastructure. So first, let me go through what we did in the past 2 years in the technical respect. Okay, so we released Bytom mainchain on 2018 April, and after we released mainchain, it's actually we definitely need the base infrastructure. So we work with the mining pool. So currently there are around 20 mining pool which already support Bytons, and we also integration with the exchange. So I think it's more currently it's around 40 exchange which already support Bytons. And the most important is we created the different toolkits which include Python, Java, and the JS SDK, which can help the developers build their own business logic on top of the Bytom blockchain. Okay, and so after we released the development toolkit for a while, so we began to see the community already build the apps, games on top of the Bytons. And we also work on working with the enterprise. So I think on the later of the 2018, so we work with the second biggest data center in China and integration the Bytom into their system. And and we also get referred to the bank. So we actually work with one of the 5 top bank in China and integration the Bytom into their international trade system and improve their business logic. Okay, and we also work with the Chinese government, which is the Hangzhou province data center. So help them use the blockchain to put the citizens' ID information on the chain. Okay, so that's what we did on the industrial side. So on the academic side, so we released 4 or 5 patents last year, and we also published a few academic papers last year. Then we quiet for I think 2 or 3 months because we are prepared for a secret weapon. It's the Bystack. So first question is, what's Bystack? So Bystack is the blockchain-based server based on the mainchain and the sidechain architecture. So in the Bystack, Bytom is the main chain because it's the UTXO mode and it's with the POW consensus algorithm. It's used for make sure the asset on the Bytom is security. And for the sidechain, so if you are using the Bystack, anyone can create your own sidechain and you can custom the consensus algorithm, the cryptography, and also the security level and the performance based on the different requirements. So it's kind of like a one-to-many relation between the main chain and the side chain. So we only have one chain, but we have infinitely many side chains. And one of the important things is on the side chain, there isn't any asset there. So all the asset is on the main chain. And when people need use the asset on the side chain, we use the cross-chain technology to transfer the asset from the main chain to the side chain. Okay, next question is, why Bystack? So why we created these bus servers? Because since we released the Bytom mainnet for 1 year, so we found a lot of problems during integration with the enterprise or during make people use the blockchain. So there are 2. First is called impossible triangle. It's actually a problem. It's actually a really famous problem in the blockchain. It's a consensus problem, but we will talk about it in next PPT. And the second is enterprise. So we found it's really hard to convince the enterprise with blockchain, and because they don't really know blockchain and they want integration with it, it's really hard. So talk about the impossible triangle first. So it's the consensus problem. So summary is in any blockchain system, a system cannot reach the maximum of the security, decentralized, and the scalability at the same time. It's always like you need to sacrifice 1 or 2 points to get a maximum of 1 point. Okay. So first, like Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is the legacy. It's used the proof of work or consensus algorithm, and it's used the UTXO mode. So it's actually reached the maximum of the decentralized and the security, but it's really poorly on the performance. So I think currently the Bitcoin network can support 17 transactions per second. Okay, and how about Ethereum? So the most important thing Ethereum did is replace the UTXO mode with the account mode, which make the Ethereum network be able to handle the DOS attack, so that they can run the smart contract on the Ethereum network, because it still follows like the proof of work consensus algorithm. So the decentralized is still really good, and it gets like a really good like scalability. But it's actually has problem with the security, because it's already like switched to the account mode, and account mode is like really easy for human to understanding. But if a bad developer, is always easy to make a mistake on the account mode. So if you check the news for the last few years, so I think millions of dollars of asset got lost or get hacked or get stolen on the Ethereum smart contract. It's because the bad developer plus account mode. Okay, so, by the way, so Ethereum is also bad on the TPS. So if you remember, so last year, there's one decentralized application called CryptoKitty, right? It's almost killing the Ethereum's network. So now next is like the third kind of chain, so the depose. So here, maybe we use EOS as an example. So EOS have like 21 supernode. So it's actually reached the good performance. It can reach like 3,000 or 4,000 transactions per second. But it's actually lost the security and decentralized, because there are 21 supernode, and the supernode have like a much more ability than the regular node. And if the supernode want to do something evil, it's pretty easy for them. And also for the security, so if people can attack the supernode, they only need to take like the 21 node down. The whole network is crushed. So we've think about the triangle problem, and then we think like if we definitely cannot solve the problem in the one chain, so we add another dimension. It's if we can't solve it in the one chain, how about we separate the chain into 2 layers, layer 1 and layer 2. And this is what we did on the Bystack. So the layer 1 is the Bytom mainchain, okay? So it's used the proof of work algorithm, and it's used the UTXO mode, so it's reached the maximum of the decentralized and the security. But unfortunately, the performance isn't that good, so it's just like a 34 transactions per second. But we have layer 2. So layer 2 is actually the side chain, so anyone can create their own side chain. And if you select the depose consensus algorithm, so the performance is really good. So on the dev environment, we already reached like the 100,000 transactions per second. But on the productions, we only can reach, I think it's around 8,000 or 9,000 transactions per second. The reason is because of the network. So if one node is in America and another node is in China, so if you then send one message back and forward, will take like 300 milliseconds. So we are actually reached the limit of the network. Okay, and that's it. So enterprise. So we found that there's always be a gap between the blockchain industry and the legacy or the traditional enterprise. So for past 2 years, so we work with lots of the enterprise. And every time we sit together, they always ask a question. So yeah, we know blockchain is great. So can you please tell me like what blockchain can do? And how can it integrate into our system? Okay, then it's usually like the engineering like sit around each other and spend like 1 or 2 weeks to figure out our solutions. So this is why we also like want to create a layer 3 on the Bystack. So layer 3 is actually kind of like how to say it? Okay. So this way. So layer 3 is actually a medium layer, which is connect the blockchain world to the enterprise world. So we actually transfer the blockchain logic to the business logic and provide a resetful API, which allow the enterprise integration the blockchain into their system, just integration a regular third-party plugin, kind of like a Twilio or Salesforce or something like this. Okay, and this is the big view of the architecture of the Bystack. So on the bottom, so we have Bytom, which creates all the asset security. And between the layer 1 and layer 2, we have many federations. And the federation is responsible for transfer the asset from the Bytom layer 1 to the layer 2, which is a different type of the sidechain. And every sidechain is different. It's kind of like one sidechain is one unique word. Okay. And on the top, we have layer 3. So actually, layer 3 is actually directly connected to both layer 1 and layer 2. And because if the enterprise want to do the cross-chain actions, so they definitely need access from it. And the block center is what we call the layer 2's backend server. So it's actually have a database and convert all the blockchain data to the database, then provide a resetful API which to the end user. And so for the layer 3, we already have three type of the user. So firstly, we call it Bycoin. Bycoin is kind of like the phone wallet. So it's provide the regular user ability to access the blockchain, transfer asset or run the decentralized application. And the second type is By1. So By1 is kind of like the MetaMask in the Ethereum. It's actually provide the decentralized application developer an easy way to create their own business logic or application on top of Bytom. And the third one is the most important. It's called the Bystack. It's actually provided to the enterprise. So by using the Bystack, they can easily create their own sidechain and control their sidechain, and also the Bystack have an API to let the enterprise just do some issue action or transfer action on the blockchain without knowing what's the deep. Okay, so I'm gonna just go overview the plan for the next year. So first is I think it's just need 2 weeks. So we will release the Bystack layer 3 on the last month. So we released Bystack, but it's only just the layer 1 and the layer 2. We just want to make sure everything is stable. Then we will release the layer 3. After we release layer 3, so the enterprise can be started to use the Bystack. And after layer 3 released, one of the most important things is the Bystack developer centers, which include the SDK and documentation and also some sample or demo, which allow the community developer to create their own logic. And another thing is we were doing in panel is open federation management framework. So this is really important because currently we only have a center group of the federation to do the transfer the asset between mainchain and sidechain, and it's actually a single point of failure. So if anything happened to that group, even a private key got stolen, so all the assets will get lost. So open federation management framework is actually a protocol which, if you implement this protocol, you're allowed to become the federation for the Bystack. And it's not only transfer the asset between a main chain and the sidechain, it's also be able to transfer asset from the Bitcoin, Ethereum, or EOS to the sidechain. And the other thing is we already allow the user to create their own business logic on this framework. If you're doing the federation, you can charge 0.1% of the fee on top of it. Okay, so the other things we will do for the Bitcoin network, for the Bytom network is we will update the network, because things like we currently already support like a 9,000 transactions per second. We already found some performance issue with network, because it's kind of like send like 40 or 50 gigabytes of the data every day. So we probably will like change the network from the broadcast to the smarter algorithm to save the network bandwidth. And the other things we will do is like we will release the Dapp Dev Framework. It's actually an upgrade of the Bystack layer 3 with this framework. So user can create their own smart contract on Bytom without the deep knowledge of the chain. Okay, so two things we'll do is DID and the DPC. So DID is full spell as Decentralized Identification. Why we do it? Because on the Bystack there will be multiple sidechain, and the different sidechain may even have different cryptography. So you cannot use your public key to identify who you are. Okay. So think about DID like HTTPS. So it's kind of like an organization can give you a certificate to let you prove who you are. And with that certificate, so you can just in any sidechain you can prove okay, I'm this guy, and do the trade with that people. And the DID is actually the first application based on DID is like the DPC. So the DPC is full spell as the Decentralized Personal Credit. So currently, like if we use Uber or we use the Yap to call the delivery food, or we shopping on the eBay, so there's already, so we actually will rate for each other. So that rate history is your personal credit. But on the blockchain's world, actually each transaction is actually kind of like a transaction, and you can rate it. So the DPC will collect all the rate on the different chain and create your own personal credit history and combine with DID. So you can in any chain you can tell people, okay, I'm this person and my credit is really well. So you can do the business with me. Okay, so the bulletproof. So this one is actually the voice from the community. So few group and the developers really want it, and we respect the community, so we will implement the bulletproof into our system. But I think we probably will only implement it on the Bytom's main chain. The reason is bulletproof is actually cost a huge amount of the CPU to verify transaction, and as we said, a side chain is actually more care about the performance. So mainchain can handle it because mainchain is already used the proof of work algorithm, and it's already the TPS isn't that high, so it can be acceptable. Okay, let's on the industrial part. So on the academic part, we also have the 3 plans. The first is we want to work with the top university in the world, maybe create the blockchain research lab or doing some project research. And the second is we will keep apply for some patent, but internationally. And the third is also we will keep publish more academic paper to help the blockchain industry improve. And we also leave the 20% of time is because we know after we release the Bystack layer 3, so definitely there will be lots of the enterprise using it, and they will find the pain point, and then they will have requirements. So this time I leave there just for help them have a better experience with using the Bystack platform. Okay. Yes. So that's what I'm gonna talking about today. So thank you.